So, this year, Sonic's releasing another racing game. I know that's a random way to start, but that game is even more random. Why the fuck is Minecraft Steve here?
Is it too late now? Chicken jockey!
But before that, we had Team Sonic Racing, which basically took the Sonic racing games and matched it with the Heroes formula. A formula that kind of defined most of the definitive Sonic cast, as we are still using the trio formula to categorize these people, because you kind of need a way to organize all these hockey pucks somehow. And if you don't believe me, you might want to see what Heroes could have been. Yeah, this probably would have changed all future games as we know it, wouldn't it? My biggest question is, what the fuck does big have to do with chaos and gamma? So, going from one game I didn't complete this year to another, let's pay respects, or at least acknowledge, the game that sort of made this cast what they are now, and take a second look at Sonic Heroes.
Oh, why are you doing this?
Because we're Sonic Heroes!
Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome back to, once again, another re-review. This time, I decided to paint a massive target on my head and become Furry Abraham Lincoln for the 50th time in my YouTube life, because tonight's re-review is Sonic Heroes. Heroes is a high-speed 3D platformer released for PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, Windows, and the GameCube here in America in January of 2004. It did get re-released on the PlayStation 3 store, but only in the UK and Japan in 2012 and 2014 respectively. For this video, I'm going to be using the GameCube version since I never heard anybody talk about the Xbox original version, and I heard the PS2 version is by far the worst version to play with bugs and glitches galore. God, a Sonic re-release with bugs. Gotta be a day that ends in Y. Now, if you've been on this channel for the past soon to be 6 years, you should recall that I didn't quite like this game a whole lot. Granted, I consider a lot of my old videos the equivalent of shitposts nowadays, but I consider the original Heroes video to be the worst Sonic review I ever did other than the Colors review. And I pray to every god known to man the next time SMP and I meet up, it's less of a disaster. I just got a bad feeling for some reason and I don't know why. The other thing is that I know very well that Heroes has one of two responses. You either love it, or you can't fucking stand it. I really struggled to find anyone in between, but it's also the Sonic community. Something that was beloved in one day can be beaten the shit out of the next, then loved again, rinse and repeat. My sources are Frontiers, Sonic X, the Archie comics, Sonic IDW, and literally any Sonic voice actor whose name isn't Jaleel White. So now, this time I actually did beat Heroes, so it's time for round 2. Is Sonic Heroes truly any good? And is it a game I could actually recommend to you? Let's find out. Alright, so since Heroes was released during the Adventure days, there's of course multiple stories. Though, following Adventure 2, we go with teams of 3 per story. We have Team Sonic starring the Blue Rat himself, abnormally born Star Fox, and not Idris Elba. Team Dark starring a revived Edgelord, the next Gamma, and the somewhat confirmed Latina, which... Oh, that explains a lot, actually. Team Rose starring Stalker, Baby Bunny, and finally, the Chaotix with Sly Cooper, Barry B. Benson Jr., and Florida. Each team has their own story, so here's the best summary I could do. Team Sonic's story is pretty much your typical stop Dr. Eggman plot, so nothing out of the ordinary there. It's never explained why Knuckles is here instead of guarding the Master Emerald, and this is back in the Dreamcast era where they actually gave a damn, but whatever. Still, you could have just had it as simple as Eggman stole the Master Emerald, easy as that. Team Rose's plot sees Amy, Cream, and Big search for Chocola the Chow, and damn it, Big, you lost the frog again! The Chaotic story pretty much sees them get hired by an anonymous person on the walkie-talkie so they could pay rent. Hey, we need to make money somehow, and I know for a fact I'm making jack shit from these.
Gimme money, gimme money, gimme money, gimme money, gimme money.
And now Team Dark. So, Rouge found a capsule containing Shadow, which she also ends up activating newcomer E123 Omega, who ends up shooting up the joint until Rouge stops Shadow and the walkie-talkie artillery bot from killing each other. Shadow seems to have amnesia, which I'm sure will play into anything significant later on in his life. And Omega just wants to kill Eggman because he locked him in here, which, you know, fair enough. Man, Omega is so delightfully bloodthirsty for egg yolk, though.
Is this a robot?
Well, I mean, it seems like it.
Was it created by Eggman?
Technically, but...
Destroy all Eggman robots. Nature and origin are irrelevant.
And yeah, beat all the stories and you unlock the last story segment, which pretty much has us go toe-to-toe against the returning Metal Sonic from CD. Bastard apparently was posing as Eggman and sent all 4 teams under task to copy their abilities, except Team Chaotix, who was hired by the imprisoned real Eggman to free him anonymously. You would think Metal would have something against the Chaotix since they kind of kicked his ass back in Knuckles' Chaotix, but he was busy juggling 4 teams simultaneously somehow. Speaking of Knuckles' Chaotix, though, amazing the new modernized Vector, Espio, and Charmy don't meet Knuckles till the final battle, yet we have a moment with Vector fighting the Team Cream Zon. How did this transpire with the milk he's been trying to enter the DMs of? Hey, did I ever tell you about the time I was anonymously hired by Eggman to fight a bunch of chow? So I ended up fighting your 6-year-old daughter and her friends for her pet chow. What a wacky misunderstanding that was.
I can't believe he's playing that card this early!
If he U-turns the conversation back to the computer room, we might be able to clutch this. So we used the Chaos Emeralds only for Team Sonic, and even then, like, what the fuck, Sega? Did you just forget Tails and Knuckles have super forms, or do you just not care anymore? Even if you use the excuse Tails needs the Super Emeralds for some reason, Knuckles! We show Metal what we're made of, boo me in the comments all you want, credits roll, game is finished. So that was the plot, and overall, perhaps I treated it too harshly. While yes, the story can be a bit cheesy, it's not overly cheesy. Sure, there's the whole superpower of teamwork, which still makes me cringe a tiny bit on the inside, but outside of that, the story is pretty good. Lighthearted while having high stakes. A good blend. The voice cast all did a good job, except... And I'm gonna try to not sound like a complete asshole since the VA was a kid at the time of Heroes' release, but I really don't like Tails' voice. I know a lot of people already said that Heroes' Tails is the worst sounding Tails in the whole franchise, but God, I'm sure that William Corkery was excited to voice the character since his sister is voicing Charmy and his dad is voicing Espio and being alongside Ryan Drummond and Scott Dreyer, but man, Tails sounds so nasally. Give this boy some cold medicine or something. We do have some new characters for the voice list, such as John St. John, who voices not only Omega but also Big, who you might recognize as this guy.
Wow, that's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them.
Sarah Wolfbeck provides the voice of Cream in her first ever speaking role, and that's all she's ever known for since she never had another voice role since Sonic Advance 3. God, the industry is a harsh mistress sometimes. Mark Biaggi provides the perfect voice for Vector, which, honestly, I love it just for this clip alone.
Excuse me, miss. I was wondering if I could ask you something.
And who's better to voice Sonic's Metal copy than Sonic himself? Yeah, Ryan Drummond is the voice of Metal here. I already sort of mentioned Emily and Bill Corkery, but they both did a good job providing Charmy's hyperactive, energetic kid vibe, as well as SBO's comic collective ninja motif. Also, this was the Adventure Cast's last mainline role before the X-Cast filled in. No, not the X-Men, Wade. But Logan would have made a perfect Shadow, though! What I mean is that this is the last time Ryan would be Sonic, the last time Dean Bristow would be Eggman, and the last of David Humphrey as Shadow before Jason, Mike, and Jason 2 shows up. And Omega's voice would go from this to this.
System error. Item acquired. Mission complete.
But, yeah, all the OG guys I say had a pretty good last outing, as this is one of the best of the Sonic Cast interactions as an ensemble. Still though, even by the Adventure era standards, Amy needs to calm the fuck down.
Gotcha, my darling Sonic.
Amy, what are you doing here?
Sonic, this time there's no way out of marrying me.
I won't lie, you're a very pretty lady.
Thank you.
But you're crazy, crazy, crazy. You make me want to move to Bolivia.
Oh, I'll go with you.
You know, I'm thinking I should get a restraining order.
Those are so hard to enforce.
'Cause your car was parked outside my house every night this week.
Your neighbors are sweet.
Team Dark is obviously a bit of a highlight, cause remember when Team Dark was genuinely good friends with each other? Sega only remembered during Shadow Gens. Even if the "is Shadow real or not" shtick only got answered in an impossible to access moment, not in this game, but that's a story for another day. But for now, can we talk about some of the dialogue here?
Look at all those Eggman robots.
Ah, classic. I think that well describes Heroes' dialogue as a whole. It's corny, but it's a fun type of corny, like a good Saturday morning cartoon. And I'm aware of the irony in that statement, but shut up. And it gave me one of my favorite Sonic interactions ever.
Just what do you think you're doing here?
Who's this for?
Gameplay of Heroes has us in the three-way shoes of the team of our choice, and named the game as platform, attack enemies, and die, asterisk. We'll get back to that. Now, while each team is unique, the core gameplay itself is relatively the same for all four teams. Unlike Avenger 2, where every level started a different member of the trio, this time you play as all three members of the trio within each level. Each of them has a speed, power, and flying character. Assuming you were to play the GameCube version, by pressing X or Y, you can switch the formation of the teams to best fit the current situation. Honestly, I do kind of dig this mechanic since it does offer variety, especially since most characters also have a little something to add to their arsenal that makes them even more unique in their own classes, like SBO's Camouflage, Tails' Thundershoot, and Vector blowing bubblegum.
We need someone so irritating that Ned simply will not be able to repress his rage. Homer, can you be that annoying?
What?
Get in the booth.
While yes, the gameplay is good, I'd be lying if I were to say it's perfect. The only main criticism I have is with the speed characters, specifically Sonic and Shadow. Could just be a skill issue on my part, but I feel like the controls are kinda slippery. Again, could just be a me thing, like I said, but honestly, I'm not sure since I have heard other people talking about the slippery controls. In song form,
These roads increase our speed. How much could you possibly need?
Guys, stop. We've got a beatbox to proceed.
Whoa!
Watch your steps, Sonic.
honestly, I say the power characters consisting of Knuckles, Omega, Vector, and Big? Was he fishing to get any muscle weight? Are surprisingly smoother to control compared to the speed characters. Then again, I feel like you would only ever use the speed characters if you were to attempt an all-A rank. The flight characters are okay, especially when a 6-year-old child is carrying Big's fat ass and a bee carries a fucking crocodile. Plus, it's funny to hear Tails suddenly turn into a French person.
So Tails, do you like the game that you're in so far?
Now, while in the story segment, I made it seem like you only have to beat the 14 campaigns to get to the last story. Emerald hunting is back in by proxy special stages. I won't dog on them as much as I did in the original Heroes video, but they still suck. However, I have found a way to make these less painful, other than just playing Team Rose. Whenever you get to a special stage, when you have the boost available, switch to big and spam the shit out of the boost button, and congrats, you got the emerald without needing to pull your hair out. Wow, it's almost as if this is something that has been said by any Sonic review ever. God, you're slow! Interesting argument. However, your mother. Minor spelling mistake in the script. I win. Interesting rebuttal. However, no Nolan North. Interesting rebuttal. However, Neil Patrick Harris sounds like me, unlike you. Anyways! Now, when you collect rings, it fills up the team blast meter, in which different effects will happen depending on the team you're playing as. Team Sonic will have Sonic do the light speed dash, Team Dark will freeze time and level progression apparently. Team Rose will give temporary invincibility shields and a free level up. Which, to briefly go over the level ups, they just make you hit harder and even one-shot some of the weaker enemies. That's all. And Team Chaotix, through the power of early 2000s cheese, sings. And this is what it sounds like as separate voice files.
Born in the darkness to live in the darkness, that's the ninja's creed.
Bee, bee, bee! Charmy the bee! Charmy the bee's got lots of honey!
Yeah, I'm the one, I'm Vector the crocodile!
SPO has effectively lost all level of cool factor to him. Are you drunk or just brain dead? SPO, are you drunk or are you just doing the chameleon eye trick again? First of all, that's racist. And speaking of Chaotix, remember that little asterisk I told you about? Well, let's fucking talk about that. Their gameplay is by far the most different out of all of them. Their levels are objective/mission based, meaning instead of just getting to the gold ring like the rest of the teams, you instead have to search through all the levels to find the objective of the level. More foreshadowing of what's to come. Examples include collecting hermit crabs, or pollinating flowers, or collecting chow, or destroy 85 robots. I'm getting that bad feeling again and I don't know why. But in all reality, Eggman, why are you making us do this tedious shit?
Has God forsaken this creature?
I said stop!
Or has he forsaken us by cursing us with intelligence?
SPO, we have 9 out of 10 missing chow and I really just want to get out of this jungle. Can you please have your existential crisis later?
Does this quandary not weigh on your mind?
Now, is there anything positive I can add that can outweigh my bitching? I mean, I kind of like the in-game banter with the teams, especially with Omega.
That's a load off my back.
As for the boss fights, they're pretty decent. Granted, you fight the same ones as all 4 teams, but honestly, they're mostly decent. The final boss against Metal Overlord / Madness is also pretty good, even if it's just for the music alone. As for the Egg Emperor, however, I feel like I might have encountered a glitch because as Team Dark specifically, I was having the hardest time. Like, even when I thought the attacks didn't hit me, they hit me anyway, and they can knock me out the sky, causing Shadow to reenact Adventure 2's ending to where I even got a game over! A game over! In a Sonic game, not even Sonic Unleashed, maybe get a game over! But as Team Sonic and Rose, it was just fine with those two. Who knows, maybe Metal just had something against Shadow and Omega that day, and Ruse just so happened to be caught in the crossfire of Metal's metallic mad nuts. So yeah, overall it's kind of flip-floppy and a bit sloppy, but it's mostly decent. Which is exactly what I was told by my college girlfriend. visually, this still looks pretty good. Colors are vibrant, even the more industrial egg fleet level, but not so bright that it blinds you.
Oh no! Why is this happening?
Enemies also look good, as well as the character models. Yeah, they actually look good. Sure, they still look mildly classic looking, but they do at least fit the style of heroes and not stick out like a sore thumb. Cough! Cough! I think Rouge is like the only character to change attire, even for a little bit, not including Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. And honestly, if anyone should do that more often, it's her. I also do like the CGI cutscenes. Sure, they don't have the style that we would see in later Sonic games, but I think the CGI cutscenes in Heroes are pretty good for what they are. Now the OST. I mean, what do you want me to say at this point? It's a Sonic game. Of course the music's going to be good.
What goes up must come down. Yeah, my feet don't touch the ground. See the world spinning upside down.
Though, after playing Shadow Generations, I think I might consider that version of what I made up as my favorite. That isn't to say the OST is bad in this game. God, no. The team themes are pretty good, especially Team Dark's and Chaotix's team. Of course, nothing could top the masterpiece of Team Joe.
What goes up must come down. Jam my feet don't touch the ground. Say the world's spinning upside down. A mighty crash without a sound. I can feel your every rage. Step aside, son of rage. Breaking through your crazy maze. Until should be my eyes on you.
Now, let's recap. This time around, I found the story cheesy and corny, but in a good way. The gameplay outside of Team Chaotix is pretty good. Visually, this looks good, and the OST is also great. So I say let's wrap this up with my new closing thoughts. You know, I may be a bit stubborn from time to time, but I am also man enough to admit when I was wrong. Overall, I did sorely misjudge Sonic Heroes by a lot. Okay, more like an avalanche, but I can admit that there's a good game underneath this. If you're looking for a more lighthearted 3D Sonic game with plenty of playable characters, then I'd say go for Heroes. I do recommend you emulate the GameCube version, and maybe download the 100% save file when you eventually have Team Chaotix left. So, is Sonic Heroes truly one of those underrated Sonic games? Well, while yes, it's a good game, there are just a few blemishes that stops it from being perfect. So, it's with all that in mind, Sonic Heroes gets my new fresh score of a 7.5 out of 10. Hopefully this will make up for the disaster fire that was the original Heroes video. And I should probably invest in the bulletproof armor. But as always, I want to know from you all. Did you play Sonic Heroes? What did you think of it? And is it a game you could recommend to a friend? Please leave your answers and more down in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And while you're here, consider subscribing and turn on the bell to be notified whenever I make a new video. As always, my social media links are down below. I've been Horror Kid, and honestly, just make another Heroes. And add a team dimension with Silver Blaze and Marine, you wusses. And while you're at it, bring the Babylon Rogue and the Diamond Cutters to the mainline games. God damn it!
See you later, sex haver!
Well, if I can't take his trophy, then I'll have to take his virginity.
Till then, I will see you all in the next review. Take care, everybody.